Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is my 2015 beauty favorites. So in 2015 I started my YouTube, I started posting my beauty related content to Instagram, and it's also the first year I really dedicated a lot of my spare money to my makeup collection. So what makes me really excited about the makeup I purchased is that I can safely say there is not really one single thing I invested my money in that I actually disliked to the point that I would not use. So I kind of feel like even though I probably spent too much money on makeup, I invested it wisely because everything I purchased I actually like or like to a certain extent. So nothing that I got do I dislike is what I'm trying to say. So without further ado, I shall just get straight in to showing you my beauty favorite. So when it comes down to primers and things like that, I don't really use them all that often. I have been recently because my skin has been so dry, but one standout product for me, which I only invested in for the first time this year, is the MAC Fix Plus sprays. So I have the lavender scent and the original. I cannot get enough of these sprays. I love using them to spray my face after I've moisturized and also to set my foundation. I also enjoy spritzing my beauty blender when I'm blending out cream products like my foundation or my cream contours. So this is definitely a staple that's going to be in my collection for life. If you guys have not tried MAC Fix Plus, I highly recommend it. A lot of people only use it as a setting spray, but I've noticed a real benefit when I use it prior to applying my foundation. It just really helps glide on my skin, and it means my skin's nice and hydrated before I go putting all the products on top. I think I've tried about 6 or 7 different foundations throughout the year, and I love every single one of them. I have just picked my top 3. Now the first is kind of a little bit cheating because it's one brand but it's 2 different types of foundation from the one brand. So I have the Revlon Photo Ready and the Revlon Color Stay. Now I absolutely love mixing these 2 foundations. These 2 combined are my favorite foundation ever. I have not found anything that really compares to these yet. So the first one is in the color 00 Natural Beige, and this last one is in 150 Buff. Now I do use 150 Buff by itself when I'm not tanned, but I do prefer the formulation of these 2 together over them by themselves, if that makes any sense at all. So the next foundation is the Too Faced Born This Way foundation. So there are so many mixed reviews on this product. I myself did a review when I got it, I think 4 months ago or something like that. It might not have even been that long ago, but I absolutely love this foundation. It is a really medium to full coverage foundation, and I love the formulation of it. It just makes my skin feel so hydrated when I apply it rather than it feeling dry. So, and then I like that it's more of a demi matte finish even though it is a hydrating foundation. It has coconut water in it too, which I think is a really unique, cool thing, and I feel like it has definitely had some benefits for my skin just with helping it keep hydrated, etc, etc. And the last one, which is a very recent purchase, is the Maybelline Fit Me foundation. So I only picked this up in December, and this is a matte and poreless one. I also have the dewy finish one, but this stuff is so good. So I am more on the dry side, so when I use this I have been leaning towards using a primer first, just because my skin's so dry that if you're going to use a mattifying product you probably need to use a primer underneath it just to ensure that you don't end up being a crusty dog. So this one is in the colour 120 Classic Ivory. Just a tip with the colour selection, this is not ivory, this is really dark. I can wear this when I'm fake tanned, and usually ivory is my non-tan. I just had a testy pop. Usually ivory is my non-tan shade, but this is definitely a lot darker. So that's just one thing to remember with the matte and poreless range, is that the color selection on the fair side is not that great, but the product itself is amazing. And the next in my favorites are concealers, and you guys know it, the Maybelline Fit Me concealer in Fair Clair. This is definitely my #1 concealer, so I'm always going to repurchase this. This has been a staple in my makeup collection, I think, for like the last 3 or 4 years. So this isn't a new product in 2015. It is just always going to be a favorite though. Every year without fail. Every year. If you guys follow me on social media, you know I cannot shut up about LA Girl Pro Concealers. So I have the orange corrector, the green corrector, and then this is also a concealer shade in light ivory. These concealers are so good and so inexpensive. The orange concealer has been a part of my daily makeup routine ever since I got it. So what you do is you use this in really super purpley pigmented areas. So for me, that's under my eyes, and this just helps to really brighten my under eyes and conceal, and it just really helps to hide those big purple bags on me. But I'm definitely going to be repurchasing it. You're definitely going to be seeing it in 2016 without a doubt. Now 2015 was the year I first tried makeup sponges. So I've tried 3 different types. I've got the original Beauty Blender, I have Chi Chi's makeup sponges, and I also tried the Real Technique sponge, and honestly I'm impressed with all of them. The Chi Chi sponges are the cheapest out of them all, and I've recently just was gifted a pack of the 4 gift pack for Christmas. So I'm going to be using the Chi Chi ones now for a while. The Beauty Blender is a fantastic product and I love it and understand why people are so obsessed with it. It is just so expensive. I'm pretty sure it's like $28 from Sephora in Australia, which is insane compared to the Chi Chi sponges, which I think are well, the gift pack of 4 was $15, I'm pretty sure. So $15 for 4 sponges versus 1 for $28. I really think I'll only reserve myself to buying one once a year because I do really like them, but my Chi Chi sponges at the same time does the same job. For a point of interest for the people watching my videos, it is easier if I use a Beauty Blender because it is more easily accessible for you guys compared to the Chi Chi sponge, but at the same time, I mean, if I was broke as a joke and couldn't afford to buy the Beauty Blender, this does the exact same job really at the end of the day. I don't really notice the difference anymore when I use one or the other, So now touching on powders, the Too Faced Cocoa Contour Palette would have to be one of my favorite ultimate purchases of 2015. I think this would have to be my most reach for product. So I recently just hit pan on the matte highlight shade. So I absolutely love using this matte highlight shade to set under my eyes and anywhere else I've highlighted. And I just think the contour shades are the most perfect contour shades ever. I just love them. I reach this every day pretty much on a daily basis. So the matte white shade is obviously my most used shade considering I hit pan, but I absolutely love this palette so much. Would highly recommend it to anyone. It is such a great product, and even though the colors are quite dark, they work really well on fair or darker skin tones, so give it a go. And then of course, NARS Laguna Bronzer. I've majorly hit pan on this baby, as you can see. I absolutely love this shade. It is perfect because it's not too warm tone or too cool tone, and when I can't be bothered to contour or layer up different shades, this is probably the one I originally reached most to. Since it hit pan, I don't really like using it with a gaping hole in it, so I do need to repurchase. So instead I have been reaching for my Hoola bronzer a little bit more, but when it comes down to color, I think I definitely prefer NARS Laguna over my other individual bronzers. So talking about the LA Girl Pro Concealers again, these are the 2 shades I use for my bronzing and contouring. The first is Medium Bisque, which is the lighter shade, and the second is Beautiful Bronze. I have in-depth video using these, so I will link it below if you're interested in seeing it, but I absolutely love these for a cream contouring product. So thank you so much to LA Girl Cosmetics for creating these little babies because they are so good and I'd highly recommend them. And then a purchase that happened much later in the year is the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Wardrobe, I think it is. Ambient Lighting Edit, that's what it's called. It is a little palette that has 6 different of the Hourglass ambient lighting shades, and it is so beautiful. This is another product that does have a lot of mixed reviews. So I kind of use all these shades as product toppers. So for example, Dim Light. I actually use this to set under my eyes and all my other highlighted parts of my face. I don't use it as a cheekbone highlight because it isn't as pigmented as some of my other products. So I prefer to use it as an actual cream highlight setting powder. And then I use the blusher shades as blush toppers, and same with that highlight shade too. I just like to top them over the top of my normal blushes to give a little bit more of a glow, and same with the bronzer. I just feel like it elevates your makeup to another level, and I really like sort of how brightening they are, if that makes sense. Please stop saying if that makes sense, but you know what I mean. I also had such a great run with blushes this year. So my ultimate favorite purchase, I think, is the Tarte Bling It On blush palette. This is so amazing. I'm so sorry if you didn't get your hands on this palette. It is just spectacular. These shades, I love every single one of them. There's not one single shade in this palette I would not use. So the next blush is by MAC, and it is a mineralized blush in the color Dainty. This is like the most perfect pink with a little touch of shimmer. So if I don't know what to wear, I can't even bother thinking about what blush to put on my cheeks, this is what I will reach for. I've used it so much and it hasn't even made like the slightest dent in the dome. So I assume there's a fair bit of product in that. So we'll see how long it takes me to hit pan. But I really, really love this blush. Beautiful color, beautiful consistency, beautiful pigment payoff. And then my last blush favorite is the Too Faced Love Flush Blushes. So I have 3 shades. And really the reason why I love them so much is pretty much just because of the packaging. So they are so beautiful. This packaging is just the most beautiful packaging I think I've ever seen. Too Faced, hands down, I think have some of the best, cutest packaging for display purposes. The pigment payoff is pretty high with these blushes. I do find they are a little bit chalky, so when I dab my brush in, I do get a fair bit of excess powder that doesn't like stick to the brush. So I think preferably I'm going to keep them for more display purposes rather than using on my cheeks, because just look at that pattern. Like, I don't want to ruin it. I don't want to lose that indentation on those blushes. They look so cool, don't you think? I'll put that so my favorite highlight for the year was MAC Soft and Gentle. When I first picked this up, I actually did not like it at all. I put it on and I was like, what is this? It's like chunk glitter on my face. But what I realized it was is there must have been like some sort of surface over the top of my product in particular. So I just kind of had to like work it down to get to the actual pigmented product. And once I actually started using it and kind of broke through that seal, it is just, oh. And my second favorite highlighter of the year would have to be Becca and Jaclyn Hill's collaboration with Champagne Pop. So even though this isn't necessarily the favorite color on myself, just as a product in general, it is so pigmented and so beautiful. I have since bought like 3 other Becca highlighters since getting Champagne Pop, and hands down I think they have the best formulation of pressed and poured highlighters. They are incredible. They are expensive, but if you have the money to invest in a good highlighter, I'd highly recommend picking up one. So now I have Champagne Pop, Pearl, Moonstone and Opal, I believe. So when it comes to brows, there was really 2 standout products for me. So the first is Benefit's Give Me Brow. So I absolutely love this product. The reason I love it so much is because the wand, it is so tiny and it is so perfect for doing your brows, because you're not going to get too much product on those brows. You can work in around the arch and everything without getting it all over your face. These 2 products for brows are both from Australis. So I have the Australis Brow Pencil and Brow Tint, both in blonde, and these are like my daily brow products. So you would have seen them in every single tutorial pretty much, and all that jazz. I just really love the formulation. I just feel like the brow pencil is the perfect shade, and the tint just helps hold them in place and also make my brows look that little bit more fuller. So I absolutely love these. Definitely a win. So I actually get quite oily lids, and I'd never used an eye primer before 2015. So when I grabbed this and started using it, it just helps prolong my eyeshadow so much more. So like my eyeshadow doesn't break up throughout my crease anymore. This literally keeps it on all day. My favorite eyelashes of the year would have to be Ardell's Demi Wispies. So I did an Ardell lash haul back earlier, like at the very start of the year when I very first started YouTube, and it has gotten so many views and so many people commented like, you need to try Demi Wispies. You don't know what Ardell lashes are like until you try Demi Wispies. So I finally tried Demi Wispies and everyone was right. These are such good lashes. They're not too thick, they're not too heavy. So because I have like hooded eyes and I also kind of have like downturn eyelids, I can't wear super massive lashes. So these lashes give me that dramatic look and fluffiness without making my eyes like droop even more. I'm going to forever, let's kick the camera. I'm going to forever repurchase them. They're just so good and I just love them, and yeah, everyone was right. So I purchased Makeup Geek shadows for the first time this year, and oh my god, am I so glad I did. These are my favorite shadows of all time. My first palette, which I have just all my matte shades and everything in. I absolutely love Mocha, Cream Brulee and Peach Smoothie. They're like my go-to shadows whenever I'm doing a makeup look. They are just such great base shadows. And this palette contains all my duochrome and foiled shadows, and these are so amazing. So my favorite shade would have to be Starry Eyed. The next palette is Kat Von D's Shade Light Eye Palette. This is just gorgeous. I absolutely love that she came out with an all mattes palette. It is a perfect palette to have in anyone's collection. You can literally just create an all matte eye, or you can use it as a base for any other eye look if you have other metallic shadows. And then one of the packaging awards goes to Urban Decay's Gwen Stefani collaboration. The reason I love this palette so much is one, because of the packaging, and two, because it is more cool tone based in the shades it has in this palette. So I personally do prefer cool tone shadows over warm tone. So this just like strikes a chord in my heart. And then the last is the Tartelette in Bloom palette. This packaging is, oh my god, so incredibly beautiful, and all the shadows are so gorgeous. I love going in with Flower Child, Jet Setter and Funny Girl, just for a really natural eye look. It is so pretty. And then I love that we've got the darker shades down the side here too. I really love this as an everyday palette, and the packaging as well is just beautiful to have on display on your vanity. Like, look at that. Oh, it is so beautiful. So 2015 was definitely the year of the liquid lipstick. I tried so many different brands throughout the year, and they have become fastly my favorite lip product ever. So I have probably 3 products that are my favorite. The first is right behind me. So Kat Von D's liquid lipsticks would have to be my favorite out of all the liquid lipsticks I've tried. I really love her formula. It is much thicker than most of the other formulas I have tried, but they are such beautiful colors too. Look at the color selection I have here. Isn't it pretty? And they just all go on my lips beautifully. They glide on like a dream. They're incredibly long wearing. They are not too drying. And I just love the Kat Von D liquid lipstick. My second favorite liquid lipsticks are the Jeffree Star ones. I have Androgyny and Prom Night. Yeah, Prom Night here. They are such pigmented, beautiful liquid lipsticks. So the formula of these is a little bit more runnier than Kat Von D's, but the pigmentation, like these are probably the most opaque liquid lipsticks I own, and the color selection is amazing. So Jeffree Star, definitely my second favorite liquid lipstick. So my third favorite liquid lipsticks would have to be Gerard Cosmetics. So they came out with a whole range, and they're called Hydra Mattes. They are such beautiful shade selection. They are yet again a more thinner consistency compared to the Kat Von D and the Jeffree Star, but they are incredibly opaque. They're really long wearing, and they are really affordable. So if you're looking for a cheaper alternative, like if you can't afford to drop 30 bucks on a liquid lipstick, definitely try out Gerard Cosmetics Hydra Matte. So guys, that is all the favorites I can think of off the top of my head. If I've forgotten anything that deserves an honorable mention, I'll be sure to list it in the description box for you. So please make sure you thumbs up this video if you enjoyed, and make sure you leave me some comments below of what your favorite products of 2015 were. I hope you all had a fantastic new year, and I'll be talking to you very soon. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.